Hi. Well, I know a lot of people are members of book clubs, Book of the Month Club, Oprah's book club. I'm a member of Sam O. Storm's book club. He recommends a lot of books every once in a while, and one of them, of course, was Shantaram. Now, I'm not usually one who reads a 900-page book, but it was worth every minute of it. It's very interesting to me, as a former librarian, behind the title page, there is a list of subject headings that one uses in a library. And as I read the subject headings, I thought, my Lord, this doesn't even begin to cover what this book is. Yeah, it's about an Australian and a fugitive from justice, and it takes place in India and Bombay, and yeah, the criminals are involved, and there's a clinic, but that really doesn't tell you what this book is about. There is on YouTube several videos about, or videos by, the author, Gregory David Roberts. And I would suggest highly that you look at them. I will list it down below if I can remember to do that, or just look up Shantaram and his name, Gregory David Roberts. He is an amazing human being. As I said, this says a novel, and I'm sure it is, because he says it is, but he has lived most of what has gone on in this book, and I cannot imagine how any human being survives what he has done or gone through. I really can't review the book in this short a period of time, not that I'm a really great book reviewer, but I just thought I'd make some comments on what I thought about the book. It has some of the most amazing literature in it, and one of the quotes in the book is by Bertram Russell, and it says, anything that can be put into a nutshell should be left there. Well, you can't put this book into a nutshell. Some of the poetic writings are amazing. They are beyond belief. I have not read a book like this in decades. This one was published in 2003. Why it isn't a Pulitzer Prize winning, I don't know, doesn't indicate that it is, or even a Nobel Prize winning piece of literature, I don't know. This is a man who started out as a criminal, escaped from prison in Australia, went to India, and led a life of deception. It's interesting that in the book you never really learn his real name. He has a fake passport called, his name is Mr. Lindsay, and Prue Baker, which becomes his assistant of sorts and confidant and guide, says you must have a nickname, and so he gives him the nickname of Lynn. I'm not going to try Indian accents, I'll screw them all up. What I would like to do is read you a few of the phrases that I picked out. When I started reading the book, it's really interesting. I said, oh, that's an interesting comment. I'll just put the ones I like on the back of the book. So on the back column, I started making little notations of page numbers. By the time I filled up the back of the book, I hadn't gotten through the first 100 pages or so, and so I got out a legal pad. By the time I was done, I had over 200 notations of pages and comments. I just thought there were so many. I mean, he should be in Bartlett's quotations. Some of these things are just phenomenal. And these aren't the best, or all of them, but they're the ones I kind of liked, and I've just randomly picked out a few of them. What this book is about is a man who learns about India, who becomes a part of India, and basically this is a book about love. It's about love between a man and a woman. He falls in love with a woman named Karla. It's about love of a friend, Prue Baker, and others. It's about a love of the people of India for each other. It's about a place, loving Bombay for him. And that's really what the story is about. It's a love story and a very bizarre system of hell. There's a prison scene he talks about in one of the videos, and war, and crime, and people getting beat up. He gets beat up a lot. I don't know how he survived it. And just the incredible ability to survive in the most awful conditions. There's no way I would have survived the first week there the way he did. I mean, he's an extraordinary man. He's extraordinarily intelligent. He's extraordinarily capable. I mean, he's really a man's man, if you want to say in one way might want to put it. But here are a few of the literary quotes that I found particularly interesting. Optimism is the first cousin of love. It's exactly like love in three ways. It's pushy, it has not a sense of humor, and it turns up where you least expect it. Kismet is the word in the Urdu language. Fate has every power over us but two. Fate cannot control our free will, and fate cannot lie. By the way, this book isn't sad or depressing. In some places it really is, and I'll mention that in a minute, but I laughed out loud at some of the scenes. I actually was sobbing at one of them because of a death in the book. It was just, I was so overcome with it. It was just ridiculous. I couldn't believe that this person died. But this one is an example of the humor in the book. Madame Zhu laughed. She was the real villain in this book. It was a gurgling, bronchial laugh. It was the kind of laugh that hunted down funny things and killed them stone dead. I love that. Sometimes we love nothing more than hope. And this is speaking about Indians. They were poor, tired, worried men, but they were Indian. And any Indian man can tell you that although love might not have been invented in India, it was certainly perfected there. Fate's way of beating us in a fair fight is to give us fair warning that we hear, but never heed. That is just brilliant. It is so brilliant. India is the heart. It's the heart that keeps us together. That certainly is a theme in the whole book about how these amazing people in the most, what we in the West would probably call awful conditions, make them livable, and the love of family and friends and each other. The fact of being in love, that we often pay no attention whatsoever to the substance of what a lover says, while being intoxicated to ecstasy by the way it's said. At first, when we truly love someone, our greatest fear is that the loved one will stop loving us. What we should fear and dread, of course, is that we won't stop loving them even after they're dead and gone. And this reminded me of somebody on YouTube. That smile was like sunlight on the sea rocks after summer rain. I can't find it right now, but there was another one that I absolutely loved. It said that it was such an impressive, I'm probably talking about Brubaker, the smile was so infectious that you could feel it on the back of your head. I just thought that was brilliant, just brilliant. Certainly this is one of those great truths. You can only be yourself. The more you try to be like somebody else, the more you will find yourself standing in the way. I know now that when the loving, honest moment comes, it should be seized and spoken because it may never come again. Love you guys. Okay, there were two other characters that I really like. Of course, Karla, who's a bit of a cynic, I must say, and some of her quotes here will tell you that. She is the great love of Lynn, and it's one of those great love stories. This whole book is like a combination of War and Peace, The Godfather, and Gone with the Wind, all in one. It's amazing. Here are some of Karla's comments. If fate doesn't make you laugh, Karla said, then you don't get the joke. I love that. Luck is what happens when fate gets tired of waiting. Well, I highly recommend it to you. Check with Samuel Storm for more books. I'm sure he'll be recommending. And he always has the big ones. So if you can't get through them, they're really good for exercise too. Lifting. Well, have a happy day. Thank you very much for listening.